Let's try another transaction. Let's think about buying on account some inventory. Right? So let's try it. So what we want to do here, a transaction, our contract is we're gonna purchase inventory on account, and the vendor wants us to pay for the inventory not with dollars, but with yen. It's possible, right? So we're buying it from a Japanese company. And they want yen in payment. Not dollars. They want yen. So we've got to go and we've got to figure out, well, what's the exchange rate for yen? And we'll keep the same kind of perspective. We'll look at $1 million, million yen. Let's make it 10 million. Let's put 10 million. 10 million yen. Probably that's not the right symbol for yen, but that's okay. That might be closer. Maybe not. So 10 million in yen, right, to buy inventory. So that's what we have to deliver to the Japanese company, and they're going to give us 10 million yen worth of the inventory that we need. All right. So let's go and take a look at we had done this one before. This was the Canadian dollar. So let's start up a new spreadsheet. Let's bring in some data, make sure that our formulas are enabled. Let's go get some data. We want to go get that currency data. Traditional currencies. Let's look for the spot exchange rates, again from the Fed. And we want to look for yen. And here we go. So we've got Japanese yen. So this is yen to the US dollar, not US dollar to the yen. So is this an indirect rate or a direct rate? Right? I think this is an indirect rate. We want both. So we should see something pretty substantial like $1 is equal to 100 plus yen. So the exchange rate should be pretty substantial. Let's get all the historical data. Yeah, again, you can cut it down as far as how much data you want to put on here. And we'll insert that, and that's what we're seeing, right? So this is an indirect exchange rate. Indirect exchange rate. So $1 is 105 yen. So we know that the US dollar equivalency of this, right? So we know our exchange rate, and it's an indirect exchange rate. Indirect rate is, and we want to go find the June 1st, because that's when we did the buy. June 1st, 107.56. We'll make sure we give you a little bit an opportunity to really see this, right? So on that date, June 1st, 107.56. So the indirect rate is 107.56 yen to dollars. Okay? We want to convert this yen to dollars, so we need to get the reciprocal of this. So let's do what we did the last time. We want to put in the reciprocal, so equals 1 divided by the, whoops, I didn't even put the 1 in there. Put the 1 in there. 1 divided by the indirect rate will give us the direct rate. So it's now 0.009297. I'll go out as far as that. That sounds fine. And this is now dollars to yen. Okay? So now I can take my 10 million yen times this exchange rate. Yen and yen will cancel out, right? Because this is now the direct rate. This is the direct exchange rate. And then this will give me what is the US dollar equivalency. Right? So we know that this is going to be, we are dealing with 10 million yen times 0.009297. So we're looking at 929,700. I think I did that math right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think that's right. So now, when we book this, we're going to book inventory. So inventory is going to increase. Is going to increase, and this is all in US dollars, because remember, we have to record all of this in US dollars, and I'm writing here and forgot to turn on this piece, so let's do that. Okay, so again, here's our indirect rate, yen to dollars. Here's our direct rate, we've just converted that, the reciprocal. Yen is going to cancel out, so it's going to be our 10 million times 0.009297 should give us $929,700. So when we record this in our financial report, inventory is going to increase because we are, the contract is buying inventory, so we're going to have more of that asset. It's going to increase $929,700, and accounts payable is going to increase by the same amount. Okay? Now, what happens when we get to June 30? Right? What do I do when I get to June 30? Do I have to revalue inventory? Do I have to revalue the accounts payable? This is a non-monetary asset, right? I've already settled this. I have the inventory. This is how much I paid for it on that, given the historical date that I purchased it. Right? This is no longer subject to currency movement. I have, on the date that I bought this, June 1st, this was the US dollar equivalent. This is a non-monetary. We do not change this. However, this hasn't settled. Remember, I still have to deliver 10 million yen, right? So I don't know what that's worth in US dollars at June 30 or whenever I ultimately pay it. So the accounts payable has to be revalued. So we can go in, and I promise this time I'll make sure that I go back and forth correctly. So we can go back in and take a look at what is our June 30 exchange rate. And we're going to copy this reciprocal calculation, and we're going to put it to the June 30. We're going to figure out what is our June 30 rate. It is 0.9279. If you recall, it was 9297, right? 9279. So it has changed, not a lot, right? So, and in fact, it looks like it has changed for the better. I don't have to pay them as much US dollars here, right? So now my direct exchange rate at June 30 is lower. I've got a smaller amount to pay. Let me get this turned on. There we go. So the new exchange rate at June 30 is 0.009279. Not 97. It looks like I transposed it, but you just got to pay attention to that. All right? So now what do I have to pay in accounts payable if I had to settle this on June 30th? I'd have to pay $927,900, right? That's going to be what I would have to pay. $927,900, right? To settle this, because I am delivering 10 million yen. So do I have a gain or do I have a loss? Well, this is a liability. I owed more than I booked that I owed more than I actually do owe. So I have a gain. So I would make this change. I'm just going to jam this little bit of an entry, this adjusting entry down here. So nothing with inventory. This is all accounts payable. Accounts payable is going to go down by the difference of 929,700 and 927,900, or about I think it's $1,800 if I'm doing the math correctly in my head. So accounts payable is going to go down by $1,800, and I'm going to have a gain on FX of $1,800. So that gain is going to go up. All right? So non-monetary assets that are already settled, there's nothing else that's going to happen to this. We own this inventory, and this is the historical rate we bought it. That's what we've got that. That is what we paid in US dollars on June 1st. But this AP has not settled, and we still contractually owe them 10 million yen. If we did this entire transaction in US dollars, we don't have a foreign currency issue.